Welcome to a new Let's Play, What Remains of Edith Finch. I never played the game myself. I actually have seen a Let's Play of it many years ago, but yeah, never played it myself. And here we are now. To change that, I believe we are staying on that boat, yes. How? Ah, there we go.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
And here we are now. The Finch house. So yeah, it's been a while for me.
I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
But I remember it being a very beautiful game. Look at that! Oscar's Island Gazette.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
No trespassing.
Since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Well, I guess since we are part of the family Finch, I guess we are allowed to trespass. This property is protected by video surveillance. Yes.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Are we going down or are we going up?
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent, as if they're about to say something but never do.
GRM 1187 Washington.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
I love this house. It's phenomenal. I would immediately move in.
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me, even then.
Lots of missing newspapers or missing flyers in the font here, but I can't really zoom in on any. Maybe here. Huh? Milton Finch. Date missing October 23rd, 2003. Date of birth May 19th, 1992. Last seen Walker's Islands, Washington. Age of disappearance 11. Height 4'6". Race Mixed Indian white. Eyes and hair. Oh, eyes blue, hair black.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Let's go inside.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Okay, maybe we're not going inside.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Let's see if there is a back door. Or a side door will do as well. I feel like everyone, or every family, every family, you at least have one family member or grandma, grandparents who have exactly these chairs. And I'm not even American. But I think we all share that, right? We all know someone in our family having exactly these type of chairs.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Okay, we made it to the garage.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Cosmic cuisine, the pleasures of Japanese cooking, flour, salt, water, yeast. Flavors of India. Tastina, Thailand. The Northwest chef. Someone was into cooking here. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Ah, what were you doing here? That's cool. What is that? Looks like a lock or something like that. An old car here. Aww. Ah, wow, this really feels like a house that was left alone in the early 2000s.
For the first time in years.
Oh, it was 2010. Okay. Okay, 2010, yeah. Edith, Milton, Lewis, Dawn, Eddie. So Eddie, Dawn, Lewis, Milton, and Edith. I don't know if they were all siblings or if there's more to that.
I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Okay, so Edith, that is us here. Dawn is, I assume, our mom. Eddie looks like our grandma. Lewis could be our brother. And I assume Milton at that time was already missing. Oh wait. Lewis. Lewis, that guy, yeah. In loving memory. Lewis Finch, December 2788 to November 21. Beloved brother of Edith. Son of Dawn. Great-grandson to Eddie. So, I suppose that dad was already dead at that time.
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Ooh, what were we doing here? Apple pie. I could eat some apple pie right now. Please someone cook that for me. Peeled tart apples, water, lemon juice, sugar, brown sugar, salt. No wait, yeah, salt. Down there. Flour, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger. I think we pretty much have everything of that here, but apples. At the moment, at least.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Why would you leave that beautiful house, though?
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Oh, it was their great-grandma, okay. This looks a bit like a head. From here, at least. Maybe my imagination is like a man with a little goatee. Maybe it's just my imagination playing tricks on me. An orca. I love the details in that house here.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it.
Yeah.
Like a smile with too many teeth. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
It feels like only the TV is the modern piece of furniture in this house here right now. Dawn Finch, living room. So they just moved. No, maybe they wanted to move out. Am I not able? No, I am. That's cool. Someone collecting bugs. Liking instruments by the looks of it. So, cool. Kitchen then. And this, I assume, is the entrance hall. I assume since Lewis died in November, they probably left soon after?
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Oh, there we go. It is a lock. It is a lock that was probably supposed to go down here as well from the working bench. That is such a cool idea with all the books, though. Such a nice idea. I would love to do that. What do we have
A
here?
lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Okay, shall we go to the top floor?
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
So Milton disappeared and the mom basically freaked out. Is that a saw? Oh, that's cool. That is cool. An old saw with a very nice view, very nice scenery. Living so close by the water as well. I love this house. I want to move in. Okay, where do we start? So she did seal all of the bedrooms.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
My friend Bigfoot, introducing Barbara Finch. Now showing. So Barbara was a famous movie star.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Odin. Cool name. Barbara. So I assume that was where Barbara lived. Also sealed Barbara 1944. Pardon me, 1944, 1960. It's only 26 years. Died very young. Some old wine. Orange tabby. Zinfandel blend. De Lorenzo. Orange tabby. Interesting. The Walrus and the Carpenter. The Big Book of Homeschooling. So I assume maybe some of the family members were homeschooled. I could imagine at least. Okay, here we're going further up to maybe the attic. Let's have a look here first. Sven and Edie. 2 pigeons. So when Sven Hofstad Finch, 1915 to 1964, and Edie. So Edie died in 2010 as well, just as Lewis. She got quite old though. Kelvin and Sam. And here we do have Gregory. But yeah, everything is locked. Everything is sealed and shut down pretty tight. And here we do have Molly. Looks a bit like a princess lived here. Wait, Molly was the cat, right? 1937 to 1947. Maybe they named their cat after one of the family members.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Really cool room as well. Interesting marks on the floor though. As if they moved something over.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Let's try the key. Oh, okay, the key's working on that here. 20,000 leagues under the sea.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Okay, I guess we are going in.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Is that a cat? Yeah, that's a kitty.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
I wonder who lived here. Molly. Molly lived here. Okay, the princess Molly, who only was 10 when she died.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Wait, what? Molly.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Are we sure that Molly... Yeah, Molly was a girl, right? (1937 to 47). Molly Finch.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Hello.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
So was she starving? Did the family let her starve?
I kept eating and eating.
Not the toothpaste.
I ate a lot of things that night.
That is... Wait, that's poisonous, right?
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly,
Ooh.
I was a cat.
Okay, that's why the cat is called Molly, I assume. Okay, on here. Over here.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Okay, Christmas. Or around Christmas time. On here. And up here.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Okay, where are we going? Over here. Where did it go? Over here?
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Little teeth in the grass.
Rabbits.
Rabbits. Where? Oh, I see one. I'm really fantastic at getting these rabbits. There we go.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Okay. Molly was a very hungry girl by the looks of it.
A mama rabbit.
A mama rabbit.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Okay, flop, flop, flop. We need to get into the water. There we go.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Oh no, a seal.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Where is it? feel a bit sorry for these
and it tasted really good.
animals. Okay. Is the seal still around? Do we need to eat the rest? Kind of peaceful down here in the ocean. Even though I have no idea where we're going right now. Oh! Ah.
I grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
We
Now
are
I
a
was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
we're now a gigantic squid, I assume. On a ferry.
I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
And now we're going to the captain.
Passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe. Closer and closer.
Right, that is our room, right? We're not eating Christopher, right?
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Mm-hmm.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
So this girl is Molly. Was that a cat? Just now.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories.
Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Interesting. So the mom didn't want to talk about the people living here?
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
But still named the cat Molly.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Ah, what is that? Another great son of her? Is that Stonehenge? Are we actually in are we in the UK? Maybe we are in the UK. She does have a very American accent though, right? I mean, I'm no expert. Due to English not being my first language, but... Orcas Island, I don't... Now I... What? Yeah, wait. 15 cents though. 27-year-old woman refuses to evacuate because of a little forest
One
fire.
summer, they
And we are in
evacuated the
Washington,
island,
obviously.
But Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity.
We are in Washington, so pretty sure we are in America. My Friend Bigfoot. Edith interview, random junk. Sam medal ceremony. 63 home movies. Weird America, the Finches. Conspiracy Now.
I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Molly Concepts. Moral Sketches, Barbara. Concepts. Looks like she was collecting a lot about the past family members. Builds, 1937. Sven Finch.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Oh, Sven was Danish? I assume? Concepts of the house. She used to paint.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
Molly, Barbara, Calvin and Sam, Walter, Dawn, Gus, Gregory, Lewis, so many. Milton, Edith. So very, very many.
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune. And misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
He took his house over with him from Norway to America? Over the Atlantic from Norway to the east to the west coast?
Odin's daughter Edith, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
So Edie is the daughter of the guy who built this house, right?
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
No, Sven must have built it then.
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Yeah. Damn. So he took the house with him. Maybe the house was the curse and Sven used parts of that house in the new house. So the curse basically just came with them. Hmm.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
The Mysteries of Death and Thereafter, Odin Finch. So he was an author, joining the great majority. So the family originally came from Norway to America, to Washington, with their house though. That's something. Sven and Edie. So Sven was just Edie's husband, alright.
Even in her 90s. Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Oh wow. Oh wow. I like Edie. It's interesting. Baby Bubble Bonanza. I mean, why not? But Granny can use some baby shower bubbles.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Oh. So
It was a pretty big trace.
it wasn't Edie's choice. Okay. Alright. Can I continue here? No, that is sealed as well. But we have another book here. There's a secret in this bathroom by Sven and Edie Finch. No, I suppose Sven was
There's
the
a secret in this bathroom.
son of Odin, right?
It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Cool. Calvin Finch, born April 25, 1950, died September 23rd, 1951. So the child barely was a year.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Barbara Finch. Milton. So Milton was here before as well. Ah, it leads into another room. Fort Calvin. This is an extremely cool room. Command Center. United States Marine Corps certification of Sam Finch. So he was, oh no, that's Sam and that's Calvin, okay. Gordon Finch National Park, okay, he got his own national park, cool. Join and fight, enlist. So Sam was a lot into war, military stuff. Apparently even used to smoke. And Calvin was a lot into space. I assume Calvin died a lot earlier than him though, right? Which is why they sealed that
I knew
off.
Grandpa Sam had a twin.
Oh wait, is Sam
and that
the...
he never talked about him.
No, wait. Can I go back? Wait. Is Sam the baby? Would that make sense? The baby wouldn't have all that stuff at 1 year old. Wait, no, Calvin. 1950, 1951. Why am I making that up? Maybe it's a 61. Looks like a 5 to me though. I don't know why a baby would have all that space stuff. Or maybe Calvin imagined what it would be to have a brother like that. His brother growing up and being into all of these type of things, because yeah, baby wouldn't have all these books. Ah, wait, September 1961. Okay, he was 11 then. Okay. That makes more sense. Commander Center.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Ah, there we go. 1950 to 1961.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did.
Am I doing anything wrong here?
At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
I have to...
Mom! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Come
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Alvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Ooh.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
So wait. We have Odin. Odin Finch, born in Norway, comes over with his family and the house. But they crash, the house breaks. Odin dies. But still, Edith, who is Odin's daughter, and her husband at that time, make it to shore. And they have 5 children: Molly, Barbara, Calvin, Sam, and Walter. Calvin and Sam are twins. Molly was the firstborn. Died after 10 years. Calvin also only was 10. Sam was 33. Walter was 53. Only Barbara. No, wait, Barbara was... Oh no, Barbara was the, No, Barbara wasn't 26. She was 16. Why did I say Yeah, why did I say 60? It's 26 earlier. She was only 16. Maybe I couldn't believe that a movie star is about to die so young. Okay, yeah. Alright.
After the funeral, Edith roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Yeah, Sam was the soldier, Calvin the astronaut.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Okay. Ah, we are at the wine bar. I see. Milton was here as well. And it looks as
Growing
if
up,
we are now in
I always thought of
Barbara's.
Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Barb Street. Yeah, she was only 16. I don't know why I said 26.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
I assume we're opening that up. Ah.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Rick, where are
Leader
you?
is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
He impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago. Why is he not in prison then? Okay, that's the saw that our father put his hand in.
The old fib Finch rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
I love that they put that cell shading style to the house to make it look like a comic. Oh, it's Halloween. Ah, okay.
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Are we going through the window?
She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Okay. The thing is that we all know that she dies. He's gone now, right? Totally gone.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Damn.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Rated jobs increased. So she was working as a waitress at a diner. Penelope's Diner, yeah. Seattle Starlets. Skydown Hi-Fi. Happy birthday, Barbara. Also smoking. All these people back then smoking, so young. Strange Labyrinth, a film by Lady Gregory. I really like her room. I really like her room. Alright, so I assume we're going back.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Oh, is the ear still in there?
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Huh.
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Where is the music box? Is it still downstairs in the living room? Ah, here it is. Barbara. Well, the E is gone. And I guess we're going down to the basement now. If we like that or not. Ah, okay, yeah, right, it's the pool. The pool. Billiard room. So that also leads us to the fridge over there, right? Well, technically, not anymore.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
The famous saw.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Wait, what is that? A panic room? A safe? Like a vault?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Oh, wow. It's a bunker.
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
That dude was 53. He looks like 58.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
Oh, is that the famous crutch? What is that? Oh, I see. I think it's a train. All right.
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin.
Peanut butter.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Oh, so you got crushed by a train.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
What is that over there?
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
Why is there a chair up there in the tree? And another one.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
Yeah, right.
But I thought you should know about your family.
Yeah, right. That just came back to my mind. Yeah.
And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Oops.
you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Fair enough.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Oh, that's the
3 of the
pets.
gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Shotzi. I wonder who Shotzi was. Probably a doggo. Christopher, oh no, Christopher was only 3 years old. 5 years old. Did he die? Did Molly? No. Probably he died after Molly Bailey.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
What's that? Walter Finch. That's the train guy, right? Oh. That's cool. So, died young, died young, died young. Walter was locked in the basement. So basically, Edie was the only one of them having children and having a husband and having children.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Oh, it's okay, it is the house. I thought maybe it's the house that collapsed, but that's quite big.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
And he's looking at his house, yeah.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
So Gregory was almost 2. Sam, I assume, maybe died in war.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant. I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
Shouldn't we be leaving?
Just want to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can take off.
What?
I'm trying to focus. Ah, wait. There we go.
Right.
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Where the
You're
heck
right,
is
Dad.
she?
It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though. Aw.
Where the heck is she? I'm so confused.
Definitely should not have jumped on that coffee.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
She's taking the pictures now of him, okay.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Cal. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail with deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map. Let's see. Maybe.
I guess we're looking for some sort of animal right now.
You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo.
What am I looking for? Any bird? Any squirrel? Any moose?
Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad,
Let me get behind you.
do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Oh.
Sorry, Dawn. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about—
Dad!
Well, that's life for you. Camera's coming back.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Okay, so Sam, the military guy, twin brother of Calvin. Father to Dawn, Gus, and Gregory. Dawn is our mom. Sam, our grandfather. And yeah, that obviously makes Edie our great-grandmother. He died going on a hunt with his daughter Dawn. And the moose. Not a moose. Is that a deer? I have no idea. Wasn't quite dead yet. US Marines, yeah.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Okay, that's our mom, the baby, the other son. I guess we're gonna find out very soon what happens. So let me see, Dawn was born in 68. Gus in 69. So Sam had a daughter at 18? I thought he enlisted to the military. At 18. Okay. Alright.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Hi, Finch. Airline ticket. So she left him and ran away to Baltimore. So basically from the west coast to the east coast. Is that an X that guy kept on us? Okay, yeah, I assume they had a divorce. Lots of medals. Sam Finch. Big military dude. Lots of guns. Hunting, but also loved photography. I'm pretty sure that bear was also one of his victims. And it looks as if he was also having his own little bunker or hoarding stuff.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Hmm. That is a bit creepy. Oh, I thought it was a doll sitting there. Divorce contract. No, I wanted to read that. I want to read that. Okay, Carlisle, Sam Finch.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
I have a frog like that too.
Come over, Gregory. It's time to...
Oh no, did the kid drown?
Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw.
Can I not get rid of the rest of the letters here? I can. There we go. Oh.
It sure made him happy.
Yeah.
I know how silly it sounds. But I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Oh, we're gonna put the water back on.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Okay. Dawn.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
Ah, he got remarried.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, We don't need a stepmom, were the words that
I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Okay, I can't crash into the wedding.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
Ah, that's why the chairs are all over the place.
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
He was 13.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
With sympathy. Deepest sympathy. So, raise flag at 7:30, breakfast at 8, quiet time at 11, duties dawn. Was responsible for the trash and cleaning, or sweeping. Gus had to mow the yard. Greg had to be a baby. Routine, jump ropes 100, jumping jacks 150, push-ups 100, crunches 100, run to mailbox and back. So, Daddy was drilling you guys, huh? Interesting. Emergency evacuation plan. House rules. No playing outside without permission. No answering door for strangers. No messes after dark. All chores before dark. Respect others. Everyone had their own light. The one slide is still on. Okay. Uh-huh.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Where helping hands create safe places. Religion, science, math, history. Fly to India. Copy passport for volunteer center. Meet with retrieve rep. After school teaching. Pack. Fly to India. 10 ways to teach critical thinking. India, mathematics, geography. Majors, English teaching, geology. Across High School, senior class.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Oh.
And to see kids in the house again.
Oh, we all had our own little garden. Edith, Milton and Lewis. Mint, thyme, sage, basil.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Ah, okay, so they actually did get homeschooled. And apparently also learned a bit about their relatives, Lewis rules. Our family history, fact or fiction. Great job. Awesome.
But it didn't last.
Gordon Finch, myth, history, the curse. Do we also learn why her father died? Observation, question, research, hypothesis, experiment, data, conclusion.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
I would have loved to have a room like that. Oh, he was an artist. Oh wow, that's crazy for a 10-year-old. No wait, it was his 10th birthday when he got here.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush. I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Okay, he was 11 when he disappeared. That's impressive for an 11 or 10-year-old. Wow. Oh, there's more. Of course there's more.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room, until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Louis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Hello.
On the edge of a city he named Louis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. and he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery, but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for
Sinister serpents? Radiant rainbow sounds a lot better than serpents.
Radiant rainbows.
Oh. There we go.
He followed the sound of her
silver harp, electric guitar, a sitar.
Electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Where's all the fish coming from?
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
I fear I have to go into the light.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Oh, the cat. Is that Molly? Yeah.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Whew. Okay. He committed suicide. Actually, like so many in this family, sort of committed suicide, yeah. High school diploma.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot. On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Okay, Dawn also became an author.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another.
All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
A present in the hallway.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance, or that Edie had a key to it.
Very dangerous with all those candles in the books.
Of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories! I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the band came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
That means that in the end, Edith died giving birth to her son, and her son is now sort of going after the history as well, and I suppose will probably run into something very similar at one point. A very, very beautiful game. Very, very sad and tragic. But absolutely stunning and beautiful. I love the narration through the level design. It really makes you think a lot about, even though obviously this is all just fiction, it makes you think a lot about who lived here, how they lived, how they were. Yeah, great job on that. The level design, the environment, all of that is very phenomenal. I think What Remains of Edith Finch is one of those games you should probably have played yourself once in your life. Very, very, very beautiful. Alrighty, I would say I will leave you guys alone to the credits. Yeah, go and play it yourself. Absolutely stunning game. Beautiful. Very, very beautiful.